task forces are continuing the work to challenge congregations and move the Northern Illinois Conference's 3 strategic goals forward. Several programs and initiatives have been developed in the past year to engage young adults and youth around these goals. Examples include the Discipleship Task Force's What Does Jesus Mean to Me contest, where participants express their faith in a fun and creative way. Also, the Anti-Racism Task Force has started a new group called Justice Generation for United Methodist High School students to learn about and help fight systemic racism. Hear from several of these youth what growing disciples, standing against racism, and increasing vital congregations means to them.
My name is Cindy Minju O. I am a junior at the Illinois Mathematics and Science Academy in Aurora, but I live in Champaign, and I go to the Wesley United Methodist Church. When I think of disciples, I think of the Bible first and how there were disciples in the Bible. We, as disciples of Jesus Christ and of God, we need to learn more about who God was, who Jesus Christ was, and how, as disciples, we can keep continuing the works of God and Jesus Christ. I'd say the most influential part of my faith would be my grandmother, because she would always tell me how grateful she is to God who has guided her throughout her life. That allowed her to believe in Jesus Christ and to live in faith despite any of her challenges. And so through her, I've been influenced. So I try to practice trusting in God whenever I'm very anxious or I need help with anything. And that's how I really practice my faith.
My name is Angelise Bunton, and I attend St. Mark United Methodist Church. I'm a part of the dance ministry, in the choir, the Alkalite ministry, and I think all those things have developed my relationship with God and then with others. And having a community of people, like-minded people, I think it really just helps us all, knowing that we can depend on each other and knowing that we support each other through our faith journey. Sharing the good news can impact someone's life. And so thinking that by sharing what I know, it can change someone's life, I think not being forceful about it, but doing it in a way where everyone feels comfortable, knowing that I can make a change.
My name is David Laird, and I go to church in First United Methodist Church in Dixon, Illinois. If I look into the future, 10 years from now, I hope that I will pray every single night, make sure I do that, knowing where I'm going to go when I die. It's important to me. Yeah, I like it.
My name is Caleb Bunton. I go to St. Mark United Methodist Church. Being spiritual to me and having faith is applying that to your daily life. It's not just about what you do. It's about how you feel about it. And it's about how you apply that to regular situations. I feel like I can, encourage people. If we can just introduce to people who don't really know about Christ, if we can just introduce Jesus to these people, sometimes you just never know how what you do can affect somebody. Like, you never know how you can bless somebody because you never know what they're going through. That's what my parents always taught me when I would sing at church. Like, if I can just bless somebody and give them some encouragement, that's kind of what I was aiming to do.
Well, so for me, faith is believing without seeing, and I think just believing that God has a plan for all of this and everything is happening for a reason. In terms of race, just believing in God and then trying to make small changes, speaking up and educating others. The reason we need to be for anti-racism is because we need to make change in our world to educate people and to get them to understand. So not just for them to be like, oh, okay, we hear you, but do you really understand? And I think that's important, to educate people. So it's not just for my benefit, but I really want people to understand.
I'm an activist, and so my main areas of focus are gender equality and racial equality. I think it's just really important that as students, we get our voices out there and that we just are mindful of how we can be anti-racist in a world like this today.
We're reading a book called Stamped by Jason Reynolds. The book kind of talks about the origins of racism and how it's impacted the world and how it's evolved into what it is now. If you have a problem, you have to get to the root of the problem. And, you know, God loves everybody. He created everyone in his image and in his likeness. So what kind of confuses me is how somebody can be racist or somebody can be prejudiced based on the color of one's skin and still say that they believe in God, but you kind of hate his creations. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Around like third grade, I think my church was having a VBS and I wanted to bring a friend, and I brought one of my closest friends, but she was an atheist at the time, and I wanted her to, I guess, learn who God was and how just know the works of God. And she was able to learn the Bible through like a fun way, through the different praises and reading scriptures. And I think a way that I can just spread the awareness and spread who God and Jesus Christ was is to invite more people and make sure that people know that church is an open place for anyone.
I would say that's a vital congregation would mean it changes communities and like it helps spread the awareness of like God and stuff, because Jesus wants us to clean up the earth and stuff, make sure it's all clean. We don't want to ruin God's plan and stuff. Yeah, that'll be pretty important.
Being a part of Justice Generation, I think, is a part of being like advocating for change, and I really like that we get to talk in a group, and it's like a safe space where you can really share your feelings about how you feel on issues, and I get to gain new perspectives of how other people think and how they feel. So I think it's a great group to just learn. Knowing what group you want to target and like having different events that reach more people and like engaging people, like especially the youth, being a part of groups like Justice Generation, where it's a diverse group, making them feel like this is a safe space, you can just freely talk. I think that's important because we're excited to get on the call and talk about issues and talk about changes that we think we can make.
Church is a welcoming place that is open for anyone. And through first explaining what church is, then I would tell them who Jesus Christ is and how we can become activists from the Bible to our daily lives.
Some young people feel like they don't want to go to church because they feel like it's more of the elderly people, and they feel like it's not enough like young people there. So I feel like if we could incorporate some of the younger generation's way of life in our culture, but in a Christian way, in a respectful way, because Christianity is for all groups, regardless of age, race, ethnicity. It's for everybody.
These youth are an example how all of us can faithfully live out our call to grow and make disciples so we can be the church for today and for the future.